Good Friday afternoon. Thanks for joining us on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Chris Harapsky. Just in this afternoon, the alleged ringleader in the torture and killing of a transgender man from Minnesota just pleading guilty to the entire indictment. Prosecutors say Sam Norquist was tortured for weeks inside a motel before being murdered in February of 2025. Precious Arzwaga, who is also Norquist's former girlfriend, was among 7 people charged with murder and kidnapping. With this guilty plea, she now faces life without parole, her sentencing September 4th. Also new this afternoon, we now know when Elina hospice workers are going to go on strike. The union setting the date for July 6th. It comes just a few weeks after the union voted to authorize a strike. The union has been bargaining with the hospital for nearly a year to finalize their first contract. Right now, hospice workers are fighting for more pay, better work-life balance, and more resources to help patients. The two sides are going to meet again later today. Well, Minneapolis police say one man is dead after a shooting near East 26th Street and Clinton Avenue. It's in the Whittier neighborhood. This is video right now from the scene at about 2 o'clock this morning. Police say at the scene they found one man with severe gunshot wounds. He died just a few minutes later. Another man walked into Fairview Hospital with gunshot wounds as well, telling officers that he was shot in South Minneapolis. Right now it's not clear if the two shootings are connected. Anyone with information is being asked to call MPD. Right now the father of Manny Collins is appearing in court. He's accused of killing his son, whose body was found in an Elk River landfill last year. Today's hearing will likely go over disputed evidence and legal challenges as the case gets closer to trial. Jordan Collins is charged with second-degree murder. His trial is set for September. Rescue efforts are underway this afternoon in Venezuela after back-to-back earthquakes caused widespread damage off the northern coast. That was Wednesday. Ana Vanessa Herrero has the latest from Caracas.
Yes, I am now in one of the affected areas in Caracas. So behind me, you can see that the efforts to try to rescue survivors continue with no good news, at least just yet. So rescue teams tell me they are exhausted, that they have been working non-stop to find people, but the resources here are limited. So that is why they are asking civilians to help them get masks, even flashlights, to keep going. The government deployed security forces and they are here now on the ground. Some of them are heavily armed with long guns even. And something that family members tell me it's absolutely unnecessary. Also, rescuers are waiting for the international aid to arrive here on the ground to come. But they tell me that no one has communicated with them just yet about that. So again, on the ground efforts are in the dark, showing how poorly prepared the government was for a tragedy like this. That is what they are telling me here 2 days after the earthquake. Thousands are looking for their loved ones, sharing messages, pictures everywhere on social media. And let me tell you something, I have talked to a lot of people and everyone tells me that either they lost someone or they know someone who lost a family member that was affected by this tragedy. So as you can see, this is something that this pain is deeply touching every Venezuelan. Back to you.
New today, former National Security Advisor John Bolton pleading guilty to 1 count of illegally retaining classified information.
Mr. Bolton knew how to handle classified information, where it should be stored, how it should be stored, and with whom he could share that information. He also knew the damage to national security that could be caused by mishandling that sensitive information.
Bolton became a stark critic of President Donald Trump after serving in the Republicans' first administration. He was indicted last year on 18 counts relating to his handling of classified government information. The plea deal with federal prosecutors could allow him to avoid prison, but ultimately the judge is going to have to decide the punishment. Bolton also agreed to pay a fine of $2.25 million. Let's take a live look from Washington, D.C. this morning, where you might notice something a little bit different about the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. Can't see it right now, but fences are now up around the entire pool. There we go. Take a look at this. This new video, it shows a chain fence up preventing people from getting near the pool. President Trump has claimed that people are intentionally damaging the pool, cutting gashes in the bottom of it. So far, 6 people have been arrested. Some of those charged have denied vandalizing the pool. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey is on the clock to hire more police officers. A new ruling on a lawsuit from concerned citizens says that Frey has a deadline of January 4th of next year to get the minimum required number of police officers in the city or face a trial. The city charter requires the city to hire 0.0017 police officers per resident. That works out to about 730 officers minimum in the city. Right now, the city employs roughly 100 fewer than that, saying that retainment and recruitment has been a struggle after the murder of George Floyd. The president of the Upper Midwest Law Center, which filed that suit, says he hopes this ruling can help move toward accountability for residents. A spokesperson with the Minneapolis Community Safety Office responded to yesterday's ruling, saying that they've brought in more than 150 officers since last year. They're making progress, and adding that they're doing the work to get more in. New data this afternoon shows deadly motorcycle accidents are on the rise. According to the Department of Public Safety, there have been 33 fatal accidents compared to 18 at this time last year. Gordon Severson has more.
Lane splitting is when a motorcyclist drives between 2 lanes of vehicles. Some safety experts argue it's safer for the rider during times of heavy traffic because they're less likely to be rear-ended by another driver in a car that may not be paying attention.
Good job, my riders. Good job.
Here at Rider Academy in St. Paul, they teach new riders how to lane split safely.
Excellent, excellent, Allie.
Instructors say the law states motorcyclists can't drive more than 25 miles per hour while lane splitting.
So if someone's going through in and out of traffic going 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, please don't think that's some motorcyclist that's legally lane splitting. That's a knucklehead that's breaking the law in numerous ways.
Head instructor and owner Jed Duncan argues the data suggests that lane splitting is not the reason why Minnesota is seeing more fatal accidents this year. He says many of the accidents were caused by people making bad decisions, riders who were under the influence of alcohol and others who are driving too fast.
The type of crash that we're seeing most often is run off the road.
Minnesota's traffic safety director Mike Hansen agrees. Many of the accidents were caused by excessive speed. Many also involved riders between the ages of 22 and 29 who didn't have a lot of experience. He also believes the high gas prices may have been a factor as well.
More people that have the option to ride a motorcycle are riding that motorcycle simply for the fact it's a lot cheaper to fill that gas tank up than it is to fill the pickup up.
So it could be a numbers game with more motorcyclists driving more miles to save money. Distracted driving is also a concern, both for the motorcyclists and the other drivers around them.
Go ahead and shut them down.
And that's why safety experts are asking everyone to keep their eyes on the road.
This trend continues. We're going to see fatality numbers for our motorcycle riders that we haven't seen for decades.
Gordon Severson reporting. Traffic safety experts say they're worried that this trend might continue because the peak riding season is just getting started. The busiest riding months are usually June through September, and right now the numbers are higher than usual. Well, we're just over a week from the 4th of July, and tomorrow Americans are going to start heading out for the holiday. AAA predicts a record 72.2 million people are going to travel this year. 8% of those will be flying out, meaning more than 61 million are hitting the road. That is despite gas prices reaching 4-year highs. Right now, the national average is below $4. Here in Minnesota, it costs you about $3.65 a gallon right now. That's about 58 cents more expensive than what we were paying a year ago. Right now in Europe, authorities are grappling with the fallout from the heat wave as the death toll continues to rise there. NBC's Danielle Hamamjian has the latest from Paris.
Well, some good news from the French capital. The worst here has passed. However, temperatures do remain high, not only here in France, but across Western Europe. The hospitals in the capital at a breaking point. There have been dozens of cases of cardiac arrest, and authorities do not want to put any more pressure on those hospitals. They've started banning drinking alcohol in public spaces. They've also banned takeaway alcohol starting this evening throughout the weekend. The Pride Parade was meant to be held tomorrow in Paris, and that usually draws tens of thousands of people. That has now been delayed till September. We're seeing cooling areas for families, cooling baths in the street for people suffering from heat stroke and sunstroke. Now, scientists say the stifling heat wave gripping Western Europe is the most severe ever recorded. In Spain, public health officials believe up to 500 people may have been killed by this heat wave, and that is based not on a register, but based on previous mortality and temperature records. In the UK, London's ambulance service said Thursday it recorded its highest ever number of life-threatening emergencies just in one day. The Netherlands issuing its first ever red alert for heat, and Switzerland registering its hottest day ever in June. Now, temperatures have started to dip here as this heat wave starts moving towards Eastern Europe. Danielle Hamamjian, NBC News, Paris.
Here in Minnesota, the hottest days of the year are just upon us here, with temperatures expected to climb into the middle and upper 90s for much of the next week. If you're heading out to enjoy summer activities, remember to take precautions. Grab the water, grab a hat, use your sun protection, as prolonged heat exposure can lead to heat-related illnesses, which are no fun. Stick with us. We got more news and weather. It's coming up after break.